Hi, in this video we're going to continue on working with this tutorial on the SQL database application. So we've gone through a few sections already, and so we are about ready to do inserts. So we've done searching, we've done creating a table. What we're going to do now is add records to a SQL database. And so we'll create a form and then we'll execute an insert statement using SQL. So here's the rest of the tutorial, so make sure that you stick around to watch the entire thing. My name is Shad Sluter and I teach software development at Grand Canyon University. We're in the middle of a process here to make you a software developer. So many of my students have already graduated and gone on to get great jobs, and I'm trying to add you to the list. So make sure that you subscribe or go to my website, which is studycoding.org, where you can see all of the things that we do in class. So welcome aboard. So now I'm going to show you where we're going to end at this video. So you can see the application that we have in front of us here now has a data entry form. So I kind of shoved it into the corner up here on the left, and you can see that I've already filled out a whole bunch of items. Let's see where I got that. So if I switch back into Wikipedia, you're going to see that I've been copying information such as the description and the image URL and the year. So we have a new album to add to our database. So I've filled in all of these fields here, so Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band and the rest of the items. Now I click the Add button. I get a pop-up that says there's been one record inserted. Now I want to either click Load Albums to see everything, and you can see that number 19 is Sgt. Pepper's, or I can choose the search, and you can see that it also shows up here. So let's just type in an SG and search, and we got one item. So it did insert correctly, and now I can search for it. So that's what we're going to have by the time we're done with this video. So let's get started with modifying our application to look like this. Alright, so you can see that I've got the application on the screen as we left it in the previous tutorial. Now it's time to put in this insert form, so I'm going to drag in a whole bunch of things and arrange them inside of a container, and then we'll add some code. Okay, so now it's time to set up the rest of the controls on our form. So let's put some space up here in the upper left corner so we can add some input fields. First of all, take the image for the album and drag it over to the right so we create some space. Now I'm going to use a control container. So a container is one that is kind of a grouping thing. So we look in the grouping section or the container section and we find group box 1. So we'll drag him in. So the name of this form, or this subform really, is called Add Album. So we'll set the text to Add Album so that way the user knows what's going on. Now I'm going to put in a bunch of labels. So these labels are going to indicate what we're entering. So we're going to skip the ID number first of all, just leave that out. We're going to start with the album name. And so let's put in an album name, change the text value to album name. And then we'll do artist, and then we'll follow it with a year and the image URL and the description. Now I want to arrange these, so we'll set the left margin to be all equal. And then we'll also set it so that they're vertically spaced. So there's some controls up here in the top in the ruler, or in the control bar, you might call it, where you can do all of these arrangements. So you don't have to be very good at arranging things. The computer will help you with that. Next, we need to put in some text boxes. So let's drag in a text box for album name. Now, instead of leaving the name as text box 2, as you can see here, I'm going to change the name of the control because we're going to reference that in our code. So my convention from working with other types of forms is to use a prefix on every one of my controls. So txt indicates a text box, and then an underscore, and then a description of what that's for. So txt underscore album name is what I'll use. For the next one is txt underscore, and we'll say artist or album artist. And so we'll put in another text box for the year, and we'll set that to be year, and then txt is the prefix. Let's go with image URL and description following the same pattern. So txt is the prefix that I always use. Now you might have a different process, and many other tutorials will lead you in another way, but this seems to work for me. Let's also arrange these so that they're all nice and straight. So we'll choose a left margin so that they're all lined up to the left, and we'll also spread them vertically. Then we can finally maybe change their width so that they all match, and then resize the group box so it fits nicely. And then let's try to squeeze it into the upper left corner of our form. We might have to move some of the other controls out of the way to make this happen, but we will see that there might be enough space there. Now, this is kind of a poor example of user interface design, and we're trying to squeeze everything onto one form simply because we're trying to make this as easy to program as possible. This is not the way that you would probably want to treat your users if you were making a real app. Can you imagine if you had a phone app with all of these controls jammed on one screen? Not a good idea. But we're focusing on the database, right? This is a SQL class, and we're making the simplest form possible. Okay, so we got the form set up. Now we need a button and then an event to go with it, so that way we can talk to the database. So the last item is to stick in a button called add. So let's create a little more space in our group box, and then we'll drag in a button, and let's just set the text of the button to the word add. I'm going to double click on the button so that way we have an event, a click event. And now we're going to program something in here that will talk to the database. So the first thing I want to do is capture all of those text inputs and create a new album object. So let's define the new album object. We'll call it album. And I'm going to create a new one using an inline constructor here. So we're going to create all of the properties except for the ID. So the first item is the name. So the name of the album is going to get its value from the text control. So now you can see why I use txt underscore as the prefix for all of my text items. They're real easy to find on this help when you do type assist. So txt artist, it's called album name, and then we get the text property of that text box. The next item is the artist name, and let's choose the txt artist name and ensure that you put .text. Then we're going to use the year. Now this one's going to flag an error because a year is an integer and we're going to assign it a text value. Don't worry, we'll come back and fix this. So we're going to get the text from the input box. Then we're going to have an image URL and we'll get the same idea. So text image URL. And then finally we're having the description. So now we have all of the properties except for the ID associated with something from the form. So far so good. Now for that year, what are we going to do for that? So the command we're looking for is in the integer 32 class. So we'll type in int32 dot, and you can see that there is a method called parse. And its job is to take a text field and convert it into an integer. So we'll just surround the text property with parentheses and use int32.parse. This should all work as long as the user fills out the fields correctly. So we're not doing any error checking here. Remember, this is a simple app and we're talking about the database issues, and we're not trying to make a user application so much. Now that we have an album class, we can now try to add it to the database. So we're going to create a new instance of the albums DAO, which is the class that we created in previous exercises. So we're going to create the new instance, and then I'm going to call on a method that doesn't exist yet, but we will create that in a minute. So the method is add1album, and in parentheses we use the parameter album, the one that we just got from the form. Now I am going to come back and fix this underline error. One other feature though I want to do is have an integer result come back from this method. So that will tell me if an insert was correct or not. So an integer value of result is what we're going to get. Now we're going to come back and finish this code in a minute, but now we have to go and code in the other class, the albums DAO. Because right now, as you can see, we have an underline. So let's go check the underline, and it says here, the albums DAO does not contain a definition for add1album. So we haven't programmed that yet. Let's see if we can get some help here. So show potential fixes. And the only fix that says is, would you like to create this? So sure enough, I'll click it. And somewhere, someplace, somehow, the error goes away. We need to go find it. So I'm going to save this and switch into albums DAO and see what's there. So let's refresh our memory from what was here. So I scroll to the top and we have a class with get all albums. Then we have another method down here called search titles. And then finally, there's a new one that was just inserted for us called add1album. Now I'm going to copy some of the code that we used in previous examples, and then we're going to modify it. So the simplest code I can pick from is the very first method called getAllAlbums. So I'll just copy the contents of that method and paste it into my insert command that I'm going to do here at the bottom. Now I'm going to erase most of the code, but I do need to keep around a thing like open the connection and close the connection and create a SQL command. Now the SQL command is going to be drastically different, but it still is a command, so I'll leave that line. Now the command here is going to have the select statement. So let's delete the select statement and we're going to replace it with an insert statement. Now I'm not very good at SQL, or maybe we're new at it, let's say. Let's go and have some help from our MySQL admin page. So I have here the admin page for the MySQL server. And up at the top there is a SQL statement. So I'm going to get some help from here. So as you recall, we were able to do select statements with help here. I'm going to choose the insert button and it gives us an exact line what we need to use as a model. Isn't that handy? So I'm just going to copy the entire thing and then change it once we get into our program. So let's copy here and then switch back into our Visual Studio and paste it inside of these quotation marks. Now let's see what we need to change here. So we have a statement that says insert into albums. Well, that's the table that we want to insert into. And then you can see the next section lists all of the column titles that are in the table. So which of these column titles are we inserting? Is the answer all of them? Not quite. We are treating the first column differently, the ID number. We don't want to provide an ID number when we insert because the table is set up to automatically increment the counter variable for ID. And so in this statement, I'm going to erase the first column. So ID does not include itself here. And so album title is the first column. Now the rest of these are valid. Now when we get to the values here, I'm going to also replace those. So let's select them all and let's delete. Now instead I'm going to use what are placeholders. So I'm going to use an @ symbol and then some name that refers to this column. So referring to the rest of these, we're going to have the album title and then an @ for the artist name, an @ for the year, then we're going to have an @ for the image URL and then an @ for the description. So now it's time to adjust the parameters. So the command that we want to use to associate a parameter, those @ symbols, with the actual value is this: command.parameters.addWithValue. And then in parentheses, we're going to have two things. The first is a string which says which parameter name are you trying to associate. So the first column is the album title. So we'll put @album title. Now the second item is the actual value that we are using for the insert. So we have a variable called album. Where did that come from? So the album.album name is coming from the parameter up on line 92. So when this method is called, it has to have an album supplied to it. So we've got the actual data coming in there. So this first parameter then will associate one property of the object with the first parameter in the SQL statement. So the rest of these parameters are going to be very similar, so I'll copy and paste. So we're going to copy and paste, and then we'll switch the next one to artist, and the album.artist name is the actual value. Then we're going to go to @year, and we'll get that from the property of the album year. Then the third one, or the fourth one, is image URL. Notice I'm using capital letters, so that way they match exactly. And then we're going to have the image URL from the album property, and then finally the description. So all of these parameters should work if the user fills out the form correctly. If they fill out the form in a bad way, if they put in strings for the year, for example, then the app will crash. So remember, we're not checking for errors in the input field. We're making this a simple user interface. So the next item is we have to execute the query. So let's type in command.execute. And one of the first suggestions is called a non-query. Execute non-query. That means you're not selecting anything. We're doing an insert, so I guess that goes as a non-query. Now it says here what we need is a statement, it says, against the connection, and then it returns the number of rows affected. Well, that's very handy because we want to get those numbers of rows affected and send it back. So let's choose execute non-query. I'm going to press tab, and then we have the execution. Now we need to save this, so let's put in a new value and call it result, or let's call it new rows, and then we'll get it from this execute non-query. So that works out well. And then finally, when we want to return something, we're going to return the number of new rows. And let's see if all of the errors go away. I believe they do. Good. Now we're almost done, but we need to go back to form 1, and let's see what we can add after the insert. So the results are here, so I'm going to just put in a message box. So I'm going to say message box show, and then we're going to tell it how many different rows were inserted. Okay, so now we got everything set up. It looks like we're ready to run, so we just have to click the green button and try it out. All right, there's the beautiful looking app. Let's minimize Visual Studio, and let's go back into our Sgt. Pepper's. Let's see if we can use this. So I'm going to select the first paragraph, and let's put in the description below. So my user interface doesn't allow for much space, but as you can see, I can put in a very long text. So the image URL, I'm going to work up from the bottom. So let's go and right click here, choose copy image address, and let's paste that into the image URL. The rest of these I think we can fill out. So what were the other ones? We've got 1967 here, and then the artists, that looks like the Beatles. And then this is a lot of typing, so I'm going to copy the title and paste that. Okay, all that work. Now we're ready to click the add button, and what do we get? It says one new row was inserted, and let's choose a load albums, and let's go to the bottom, and you can see that I've put it in twice now. And so if I click one of these, we get ourselves the URL image that seems to be loading. So I inserted Sgt. Pepper's twice. You probably get one. If you click the add button, you'll get two as well. And you get a whole bunch of them if you click it multiple times. The next thing that we're getting to in this tutorial series is creating a foreign key. Because now that we've got albums, we need to add some tracks or individual songs, and each song is of course associated with an album, which is going to require us to learn how to make two tables and a foreign key. So we're going to get started with foreign keys next.